Woohoo!
When Warhammer 40K TV series with Henry Cavill is a go. It's officially confirmed. He will be the producer and he will also star. But before we do this, what did I say to you guys at the end of the last show?
You told us not to say anything.
And culture. What did I say to you guys?
Say again?
What did I say to you guys at the end of the last show about Warhammer 40K? I distinctly remember saying something to you last Thursday.
Yeah. You said don't say anything, but the Warhammer thing is going ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I was right.
Right again.
Yeah, but you didn't let us. You didn't let us say anything. We could have been like dropping stories and building our cloud.
Well, yeah, true, but I didn't know when this was going to be dropping. So, bit of a tricky thing to navigate if you know that you're one of a few individuals that know, it's difficult to navigate dropping the news because then you drop your source in it basically.
No, you don't. You just say, "Hey, I've been told by a person very close to knowing these kinds of things that Warhammer's pushing forward."
Yeah. Well, anyway, Warhammer 40K, the Grim Dark, it's happening. All right.
Is it about the Ultramarines?
We don't know, actually. To be fair,
I mean, from that image, it looks like it. Why is it always Ultramarines?
Yeah.
Well, they've not released anything. They've not released any information on it yet. I don't know what it is either. But there's been a lot of negative rage bait articles and videos about this. It's cancelled. Henry Cavill's walking away. Oh, it's dead. They got a deadline for the deal, and it's not happening, and blah 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 blah. No, they're good. They're good. Henry Cavill also can't walk away from this because Henry Cavill got the IP from Games Workshop. So those people that said Henry Cavill was going to walk away from it don't understand the deal. Henry Cavill went to Games Workshop and said, "Can I have the IP?" Right, with producing partners, says, "Can I have the IP?" And it was Henry Cavill and Games Workshop that then went to Amazon. So Henry Cavill's not going to walk away from it because he's the guy that got the IP. That's why he's the executive producer. That's why he's the Kevin Feige of this world with Games Workshop. So he doesn't own the IP, obviously, but he's the one brokering all the deals. He's not going to walk away from it because he's the one that wanted to do it. He's the guy that literally orchestrated the whole thing. But anyway, basically just says, look, according to sources, a mini room was assembled to hone in on a creative direction for the Warhammer universe. Based on the material produced by the writers, a decision was made to proceed with the development of a TV series as the first project. No showrunner has been locked in yet, with the deal currently being hammered out to get showrunners, basically. So that's good. It's great. So it's going to be a TV series. It's officially in development, and that's what they're looking to do. So it's just good. This is good news. What we got here. So Cavill was on Instagram and says, "My incredible team and I, alongside the brilliant minds at Games Workshop, have been working away in concept rooms, breaking down approaches to the enormity and magnificence of the Warhammer world. Together, we've been sifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over old tomes and texts. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe, which has been agreed upon by those up on high at both Amazon and Games Workshop." So it's good, but this is the sort of this is how it works. So Roy Lee, who's a producer, quite a prolific producer now. I've actually had a Zoom meeting with Roy Lee before. Nice chap. So anyway, Roy Lee and Natalie Viscuso worked with Henry Cavill. They partnered with Henry Cavill to secure the Warhammer IP from Games Workshop, and then they took it to Amazon. So they don't own the IP. Obviously, Games Workshop still owns it, but they basically licensed it from Games Workshop. So Henry Cavill's not going to walk away from that. They would have put down quite a lot of money from this, quite a lot of money to secure the IP, to license it from them for a while. Quite a lot of cash. So that's it. That's the news. I think this is good. This is the Instagram post. Henry Cavill went to Jersey, which is his home, and went to go buy some game, some Warhammer stuff, basically. A bit of fun. And posted a picture of it. Pretty wholesome, pretty cool, nice, good.
Well, I have been into 40K what feels like my whole life, since I was a little kid, since I was 8 or 9 years old. I remember when the only Games Workshop, well, not the only one, but the only one remotely near me, was in London, on Oxford Street. And it was like a treat once a year, maybe, to be taken up to Games Workshop and bought something. So the 40K universe is one of the fictional universes I know most about. I know loads of the lore. Obviously, once I sort of grew up properly, got a job, had to start paying bills and things, I sort of took a back seat and stuff. But my older brother, is still really into it. It's still got a massive army. And it's so expensive now. You need to be a grown-up, really, don't you? Like, it's ridiculously expensive. Ridiculously expensive to have a big army these days. But like, so a fair few people I know are still into it. Az is well into it. Carl, my boss, my friend and boss, Carl Benjamin's massively into it. So anyway, I love the 40K universe. I've read a few of the novels as well, and but ever since I was a kid, ever since I was like 9 years old, I hated the Ultramarines. I had a Blood Angels army, and then I had Space Wolves, and I painted a few up, some of the Legion of the Damned. I just always thought the Ultramarines were sort of obvious, and so that's my only criticism. But I'm looking forward to this. I'll watch it, like, for sure. And over the years, Games Workshop have been so frustrating, haven't they? If anyone knows about over the decades, so frustrating that they don't let people do what they want, and like the fan based stuff, they never sort of green light properly. They never really give the. I don't know. Games Workshop are annoying. But if they're going to let someone with a bunch of money and a decent vision that's a real fan do something with it, I'm there for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're really shit to deal with, like company to company as well. Like, I know people that have tried to deal with them from like a company perspective, just dealing with them, as an entity, and they're just arseholes. They're just generally a bit shit. So yeah, it seems to just run through everything that they do. Have you played Space Marine then or not? You haven't, have you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, the actual tabletop game Space Marine?
No, the video game Space Marine.
Oh no, I haven't. No.
Oh mate, you got to play it.
Okay.
Got to play it.
I used to love the actual tabletop. I disdained Warhammer Fantasy. I didn't like any of the other things. Like, they had Man O' War, like a Navy-based thing for a while, didn't they? This is going back years now. And they even made, after I sort of stopped doing it, really, they made a Lord of the Rings themed thing. Not interested in any of that, but 40K, the original 40K, I was extremely interested in when there was one of the lines you highlighted there where they said they were going back to the lore and some of the old stuff. One of the original books, it's not even a codex. It was before they had codexes. It was called Rogue Trader. And I remember as a kid, or like 10-year-old, 12-year-old or whatever, just endlessly flicking through that and rereading through it and whatever. And if they can go back and capture some of that stuff, because obviously we all know, if anyone knows, it's all gone a bit woke, isn't it? I mean, a little bit with like female Space Marines, or even when they brought in Sisters of Battle and stuff, just unnecessary. It's supposed to be a nightmare future where there's only war. Don't bring in gender politics to it, please.
I know, it's fucking stupid. The Adeptus Custodes, they're bringing in as women now as well. It's like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? Idiots. So bizarre. But I don't know. Yeah. Well, Chris, what do you reckon about this news?
I never got into it, actually. I'm just really happy for Henry Cavill. He posted something on his Instagram about this today. You can tell that he's a real fan. He's in the thick of it with the guys at Games Workshop and Amazon, going through all the old text and the lore. And, after the whole Witcher deal, and after the getting booted from the DCU, I'm glad to see. I like Henry Cavill, and I'd like to see this be a hit for him. I hope it's on the same level as, like The Expanse or Bosch or some of the better Amazon original shows. It seems like they've got a team that cares about the property. And like you said, Bo, I hope it doesn't get into some of that DEI identity politics that, I know some people on Bleeding Fool were complaining about some of the novels and about Space Marines 2 and some of the things that they've tried to inject with the transgender or the female Space Marines and different things like that. Hopefully they don't touch on any of that stuff here. Hopefully. Just happy for Cavill.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've not heard that there's been anything like that, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see what happens. It is good. It is a good deal for Cavill. I mean, he's apparently quite difficult to. Here's another inside thing. So the reason why he's not necessarily in a lot of projects is his agent gatekeeps him. His agent gatekeeps him hard. So, basically blocks him from seeing any scripts from anyone, which is shit. But point is, that's probably why you don't see him in a lot of stuff, because he gets gatekeeped a lot by his agent, which is very frustrating. And that's coming from... sources I know that like actively have tried to get scripts in front of him. They're just like, no, he wouldn't be interested. It's like, but it might be. Like it's very similar to stuff that he's definitely into. No, like, no, not doing it. Like, okay, cool, excellent, great.
He seems to be into this, and maybe he pressured his agent and said, "Get me this." He's got leading man energy. I think he could do well with this.
Well, he probably went with this by himself, to be fair, I would imagine. Okay. This is something different. I mean, he acquired the IP with Roy Lee and other producing partners. So I think this is his venture. This is something which he wanted to do himself. Culture, let's get your opinion on this, mate.
I'm very excited. I just, we talked about this from the very moment we learned about it. I was extremely stoked. I really want this to show up and be something that really is a cultural shift. We haven't had a good cultural shifting IP in a long time. This gives you some real clear cut, if you want to know what, fascism is or a particular type of ideology, this is in that wheelhouse. So, and not to mention the fact that we'll support it. What I used to consider a great game. Now it's compromised, but maybe they'll be able to push back successfully if you get all the, all the chuds to like it. Right?
Yeah.
But, and I think he's the right guy for it, guys. An advocate for the game. He's an advocate for a lot of really geeky, nerdy stuff. I mean, he's one of us.
Feels like
it. Yeah. And he just happens to be prettier and taller and muscular.
Prettier than Nate? Come on.
Well, that's true. Nate's really pretty. Anyway. Like I said, I'm looking forward to this, and it's got so much lore behind it. It's not like they're ever going to run out of story,
Yeah, it's an IP ripe for mining, 100%. You could mine it for infinity. There's so much stuff to go. If they get it right, this is something which will just continue, and it'll be well loved, and it'll go. If they get it wrong, it'll come out like a wet fart. Everyone will be disappointed. Eater of Lotus has super chatted $2 and says, reason for Ultramarines: when the OG Space Marine Tactical Squad set came out, it outsold the entirety of the Warhammer Fantasy range that year. That's right, one set outsold the entire line of fantasy. People love the Ultra Smurfs. It's in your face, Bo. All right. That's apparently.
No, they're agreeing. They're agreeing with me. Fantasy's crap. Right? Who wants dwarves with bow and arrows where you can have a space marine with a machine gun. Like, come on. Terminators with like a handheld minigun, like Arnie in T2, versus a Chaos Dwarf with a little hammer. Come on,
yeah,
it's a no-brainer. Come on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Designs were super cool. All right, cool. Well, there you go. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm here for it for now. So there you go. We'll shuffle on.